Hey guys, what's up? So, Loudwire ranked all 84 Paramore songs from worst to best. I'm doing the same. Well, not necessarily all 84 because there's some stuff I'm not going to count. These particularly have to be on albums, standard edition, and then there's two songs that were made for movies that were on here as well. So, nothing off the Singles Club EP with one exception, but like I said, it ended up being on a movie soundtrack. Nothing off the Summer Tick EP, and nothing off of Deluxe Editions. So, yeah, they have 61 tracks on albums plus the two, so I'm ranking the 63 Paramore songs from worst to best. So, keep in mind, this is my opinion. You may not have the same opinion as me, but anyway, let's get it kicked off with some self-titled at 63. Now, I don't necessarily hate these songs, especially these ones coming up. These are just ones I don't go back to that often listening to. And Hate to See Your Heart Break, I would have to say, is probably my least favorite of the Paramore songs on an album. I mean, I'll listen to it when it goes, when it goes by, when I'm listening through the album in its entirety, but to me it just doesn't bring enough to the table, and the one that has the Joy Williams feature doesn't do much more either. Like I said, it's an okay song, but for an album that's so happy and peppy, it makes you want to get up. This song just doesn't seem to fit that album's atmosphere, and I think that's why I don't like it as much as the others on the self-titled. Going to After Laughter at 62. Forgiveness. Once again, it's not a terrible ballad, but it's not a great ballad by theirs. There was another ballad that you're going to see later that was way better, and they've had a bunch of other ballads that did a whole lot better than this one you'll see later down the line as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's got this cool little twang to it. I mean, cool guitars and drum work's good, and the bass and Hayley Williams vocals, but once again, it's not one that I would go back and play intentionally. It's just one that's kind of there.
Back to land. I let go of the coat, but the coat won't let go of me. In any case, please let me know if there's more I can give you. If nothing comes.
The only track on here where Hayley Williams doesn't have vocals is No Friend, the second to last track off of After Laughter. I think the instrumentals are cool. The spoken word by Aaron Weiss doesn't bother me either, but the fact that he's like so toned down until the end to where you can't hear what he's saying, it almost makes the song just an instrumental in itself. It's a creative idea, but it's just less and less of a song each time I hear it, more of just trying too hard. You know what I'm saying? It's not terrible, but it's not great either.
Tell me how you feel about you now. Tell me how you feel about you now. Oh, let me know.
And now we're going to do the song that follows No Friend at 60, Tell Me How, which Loudwire had at 16, which I don't know how they had it at 16. It just, for a closer, it seems weaker than the other closers they've had, from Future to All I Wanted to Born for This, My Heart. I mean, those are four great closing songs. This one is definitely their weakest. Like I get now, bands tend to focus on, going quieter and mellowing out for the last song because it's the end of the album and they want you to know it's the end of the album, but I don't know, it just didn't speak to me like their other closers, and it just, didn't make me go, wow, that was it, I want more. It just kind of made me go, okay, well now I'm glad the album's over, because if that's what they're going to finish off with, Lord knows what they would have had in store.
Oh, now I get a holiday. Wherever I go, I might stay.
See, it was hard for me to place these interludes because yes, they're songs, but they're more just what they are, interludes. But Holiday, it's a cool little interlude. These interludes are ones that I don't play, just go back and listen to, obviously. I think they're just kind of there to split the self-titled into 3 parts, but it's not a bad interlude. It's just kind of like, I get it at this point in time. It's just another part of the self-titled, or it's going to change things up a bit. You're probably surprised this one's a slow, but going back to the self-titled, we have Daydreaming. It was never really one of my favorites. It follows Grow Up, which is a good song you'll see later down the line too. I don't know, it's one of their singles that I don't really remember that much until I listened to the self-titled again and go, oh yeah, right, that was a single at some point. Once again, not calling it terrible, I'll listen to it, but I don't know, I just don't see the overall hype for it. Number 57 is Brighter off of All We Know Is Falling. I went back and listened to that album, and Brighter kind of follows the ladder of the first 3 singles. It's just kind of there. I think the chorus is catchy. It's another great Hayley Williams vocal performance, but it's not one of my favorites off of there. There's definitely a lot better songs off of All We Know Is Falling. This one, even though I have marked down as the worst on that album, is by far not the worst thing they've made, but not one I always remember when I listen to the album. I'm like, yeah, okay, next.
And don't take the truth at any cost, 'cause we are broken. What must we do to restore?
56 is We Are Broken, my first entry off of Riot. Just sounds too close to Avril Lavigne to me. I don't know. Say what you want, but this is probably the one off of Riot that I do skip, just because, I don't know, I find it unintriguing as most. It has nothing to do with this song not being creative and whatever. It's just one that doesn't hit me as much as the other songs on Riot or on any of their other albums. It just kind of just stays there and just gets forgotten about. So yeah, we'll just that's all I gotta say about that one.
It depends on the day, the extent of all my worthless rage. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not bitter anymore.
55 is Interlude, I'm Not Angry Anymore. Yeah, once again, it's just doing what it's doing as an interlude. It's splitting the self-titled album into 3 parts, and this is basically them getting into the happier kind of, the whole album's happy, but like the happier kind of songs, like Ain't It Fun, like Still Into You, Last Hope, all that stuff. It just does its job.
Well, I could be angry, but you're not worth a fight. And besides, I'm moving on. I counted to...
And to finish off the interludes at 54, we have Interlude Moving On, my favorite interlude. This is after the songs Fast in My Car, Now, Grow Up, and Daydreaming, and then it takes you right into songs like Ain't It Fun, Part 2, Last Hope. And I think that's the reason why I like this one so much, because even though the first 4 songs on the album are very good, the next songs that follow it, and then of course there's also Ankle Biters, the next 4 or 5 songs that follow it are pretty much even better in my opinion and pack a lot of punch. So I think that's why this interlude is high, because it just, what follows is amazing.
I'm not going, 'cause I've
number 53 is Miracle. I mean, yeah, it's Riot's happy-go-lucky song, I guess, but it's nothing that really catches my eye. But once again, it's kind of like the song Forgiveness and Daydreaming. It's just, if it plays, and I'll let it play, but it's not one that I have to go, oh, I gotta listen to this song 2 or 3 times. No, it's definitely far from that.
That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa, that's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa.
See, me and Loudwire didn't agree on a lot of things, and this was one of them. This was their number 1 Paramore song. This is my number 52nd Paramore song. That's what you get off of Riot. Before you freak out, it's not bad. I don't know, it was never one of my favorites from when I had heard it. It's, cool that the band made this at a time where they were, thinking about calling it quits, and this kind of helped them stay together, but in my opinion, it's not the best thing they've ever made, and it's not the best thing off of Riot, so it's right here where I think it should be, and, it should definitely stay there. This song was hard for me to place, but at 51 we have Be Alone, which is the second to last song off of the self-titled. It's, I feel like it's more repetitive than anything, as are some of the songs on the self-titled, but it follows the interlude, and to me, I felt like they could have put one of those other tracks off of the deluxe edition in place of this, because I don't remember it that often. It's one of the few songs on the self-title where it plays and I'm like, I forgot about this one. It doesn't get stuck in my head like the others.
Oh, please, don't ask me how I've been. Don't make me play pretend. Oh, no. Oh, what's the use? Oh, please, I've been...
After Forgiveness, Tell Me How, and No Friend, it's very hard to rank the After Laughter songs, but at number 50, I have Fake Happy. It was one of those ones that grew on me. I don't like the music video, it's very boring, but, I feel like the intensity of it when it picks up, they use a lot more of those piano synth kind of things, and I think it's got a strong bass. It's very sing-songy, so I don't have a major problem with it. It was never one of my favorites to begin with.
If it does not exist, but darling, you are the only exception. You are.
Here come the comments. This song is better than anything you're gonna rank ahead of it. Well, at 49, I have the only exception, the first kind of love song written by the band. Sure, it's fine. I find that it charted, became a single, I'm fine with it. The repetitive ending, it just feels like it didn't need to have a 4-minute runtime. It could have easily had a 3.5 minute runtime. I don't know. It's just a weak single to me, in my opinion. One that probably never should have got as big as it did, but hey, whatever.
I feel no sympathy. You live inside a cage. You barely get by. The rest of us are trying. There's no need to apologize.
48, going back to the album Brand New Eyes with Feeling Sorry. This is the song that follows The Only Exception. It's pretty much the second half of the album where there's no singles. It tries to sound like their older kind of sound, and it does well, but it doesn't do fantastic. But it's a short 3-minute song, so I can't complain for it not being that great, because it's alright. That's all I have to say. It's all right.
Explain to me this conspiracy against me.
Number 47 is Conspiracy off of All We Know Is Falling. Yeah, I mean, basically it's just Hayley Williams wondering what the whole conspiracy around her is, and I think she does it strongly. But once again, for the debut album, it wasn't one of their stronger songs, but it definitely was decent enough for me to remember going back and listening to. It's not that great of a song. I don't know why people say this is. It's their first single ever. I mean, okay, it's got its moments, but I was never a big fan of Pressure. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not like a 12-year-old kid anymore. I mean, even at 12, I would have probably never really liked this song. I don't know. And I'm not making fun of 12-year-olds, but I don't know. It just seems like once you pass a certain age, this song just kind of drifts apart from you. I don't know. It's one of those ones where I don't feel it.
That I'm awake and say I'm sad to see you go, 'cause I'm not.
Staying with All We Know Is Falling is Here We Go Again. Yeah, I mean, it's better than Pressure. I can at least say that. It's one that's just kind of hanging in there. And we'll leave it at that with that one.
Some of us have to grow up sometimes, and so if I have to, I'm gonna leave you behind. Some of us have to.
It was hard for me to place this song too, but Grow Up is definitely a good song off of the self-titled. I just had to rank it here because I was looking through their other albums and I was like, there is a lot more good stuff than Grow Up, but, I just love the opening part to it, and Hayley Williams' vocals really shine. But once again, it's another one of those choruses that's just so short and repetitive, it can get on your nerves sometimes, but it still makes you want to just rock and all that stuff. So I can't hate on it, but I had to put it this low because there's a lot more that is better than it, definitely.
It's just a spark, but it's enough to keep me going. And when it's dark out.
Then at number 43, we have Last Hope. This is one that definitely grew on me. If you had asked me in 2014 or 15 where this would be, I'd probably have it between 60 and 63. But now it's down here at 43. Once again, I think it was the live performance on YouTube I saw that really, made me change my mind on this song. It's definitely one that could be a stadium anthem or like a live show anthem. They didn't play it when I saw them. I was kind of disappointed in. But yeah, it's just got that intensity to it. And then when it picks up, it definitely picks up.
Stop asking why we have to waste so much time. Why don't we just pick up and start again? 'Cause we can't keep holding on to.
Number 42, a song written by Zach Farrow and Hayley Williams for After Laughter, and that's Grudges. Basically the two, squashing whatever beef they had before as he rejoined the band early in, I think, 2016, I want to say. And eventually became the drummer for the band again. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. They actually used it as the kickoff song when I saw them live, which was interesting, but, it does have that power to be a lead-off song. It's one of the many off of After Laughter that are just so catchy, and when you're done listening to it, it's just like, I need to hear more, and I think it's what is so great about it.
And when it rains on the side of town, it touches
41 is another one that's grown on me, and that's When It Rains off of Riot. This was kind of like, I don't want to say acoustic, but it was definitely more quieter than the songs they had previously had, and it has more of a country twang to it, which is weird on guitars, but yeah, it does its job for just being there, after three singles. No, yeah, 3 singles. That's what you get. Hallelujah and Misery Business is what it follows up. So, yeah, it was another song that was hard for me to place, but I placed it here because I felt like it deserves a lot more love than I was giving it before.
I'm leaving a key here. Something won't always be missing. You won't always feel empty.
40 is Future, which finishes off the self-titled. I feel like if this thing wasn't 8 minutes long, it could definitely be higher. I feel like once the drums fade out the first time, at the end with about 4.5 minutes in, that would be it. That's what would finish it off. Because after the drums come back and the fade in, they really don't change that much or do much to make me go, wow, it's just the same drum hit over and over again, guitar riff. It gets kind of boring after a while, but, it's still not that bad. It is definitely one that just hits you, after the verse, I think it's just one verse. It might be verses, but, yeah, it's just quick singing and mostly instrumental, so it's not terrible. Not terrible.
Never let this go. But I can't find the words to tell you.
39 is Never Let This Go, off of All We Know Is Falling. Once again, I felt like I forgot about this song, and I kind of hate that I did, because it is one of the better ones off of All We Know Is Falling. It's got that, rhythm, it's got great vocal work, as most of the Paramore songs do. But, it's one that is in the okay realm. This is where we're getting to, is the okay realm. Nothing bad, but, definitely nothing that I would thoroughly remember that well.
I can't believe we almost hung it up. We're just getting started. I can't believe we almost hung it up.
38, a song talking about how they can't believe they almost hung it up. I mean, obviously, like I had said, prior to the recording of Brand New Eyes, the band was in a lot of hot water with each other. And Looking Up just was kind of that happy-go-lucky song where it was like, hey, you know what, we're here, we need each other. Without one another, we're just, regular, I don't want to say regular people, because everybody's a regular person if you think about it, but just, they're saying it wouldn't be as much fun without all of us together on stage. Now, granted, that's changed over the years, but, it was just that song that at least gave us a little bit of hope at that time that the band was going to stay together, which it's still together, but I meant as the lineup was back then.
This time we're not giving up. Let's make it last forever.
Coming in at 37, we have Hallelujah, I think it was the second single from Riot. One of their more, once again, forgotten singles, but it's a decent song. I love the guitar and drum work here, and once again, it's just another happy-go-lucky song that I don't think it's enough attention, but at the same time, I don't think it needed to be a single. I felt like you could have done something else, but hey, I'm not arguing. It's still a nice song.
I'm just a little bit caught in the middle. I try to keep going, but it's not that simple. I think I'm a little bit.
Returning to the self-titled at 36 with Caught in the Middle, the fifth and final single for this album. I think, once again, the instruments really, do their job, and sing-songy again, as are most of After Laughter's songs. So, yeah, it just doesn't appeal to me that much, but I get why people like it, and once again, it's not bad at all. I would have picked something else like Pool or something to be the single, but I just, I feel like this can suffice down the line. It can suffice.
To keep your feet on the ground, man, you really brought me back down. Hold on to hope if you...
Number 35, staying on After Laughter, is 26. Once again, had you had asked me sometime in 2017 where this would have been, I probably would have put it around 55 to like 58. But seeing the song live, seeing Hayley Williams get emotional while singing it really made me realize how much the song meant to her and how like big of an impact it can have on people. So it has that effect, and every time I listen to it now, I remember that moment and I'm like, this has to mean a lot if she's getting emotional over a song that she wrote and knows the lyrics too. So, I can appreciate that.
Why do you care what people think? Are you hooked up to the leash? You whack your butters, ate up your personality. Try to remember how it felt to just make you...
34 was another hard one for me to place, but Ankle Biters off of the self-titled, one of their more underrated singles in their discography. It's kind of the more punk leaning. I mean, it has the synths in there, but it's just fast-paced punk, all that stuff. So I really like it, and the callback of the band and the crowd singing Ankle Biters, it really gets you pumped up for the 2.5 minutes this song is. It's high-powered and heavy.
You can't be too careful anymore when all that is waiting for you. Welcome, any closer. You've got to read.
33 is Careful, which kicks off Ignorance. This is kind of them just coming back, and basically she says you can't be too careful anymore. Basically, just referring to people in your life who you would meet, saying, you try to like find out who they are and go, oh, well, this is a great person to be around, when really they'll end up doing some shit that'll end your friendship or whatever. It's very hard to figure people out nowadays. So the song's relatable, and it is a stellar vocal performance by Hayley Williams, if I do say so myself.
What is this lucky eyes? We're not at the end, but oh, you're
32 is where the lines overlap. No one is as lucky as us. I mean, it says that in the song. It's just another happy song off of Brand New Eyes, which seemed to have more, not sad lyrics, but more like angry lyrics. But yeah, I mean, you hear the song lyrics of that part and you're like, you know what? You're right. No one might be as lucky as me. Especially if you're doing what you want to do and moving on with your life. So it has that emotional feeling that'll just get you going like, yeah, I did it. A bunch of youngsters talking about divorce. I mean, okay, but there's a reason. This song is about Hayley Williams' parents divorcing around this time. Emergency off of All We Know Is Falling. This was the second single off of that album, and probably it's not my favorite one off of the album. I said it was, but there's two others that are coming ahead that I will mention. Actually, three others. Yeah, three others that are coming ahead that I will mention. So yeah, it's just to hear at the time kids like that talking about an important topic that really doesn't get talked about a lot. It does its job. It does its work. At number 30, we have Told You So off of After Laughter. I think the problem is it's just repetitive. Just the I hate to say I told you so over and over again. I mean, I've heard better. I have really heard better. I mean, this relies a lot more on the short verses and the repetitive chorus and, you know, the catchy guitar riff to really just, you know, get it going. So I don't have a problem with it, but, you know, for a second single off of an album, it could have been a little bit better.
Everything has changed. Everything has changed.
Nightlight actually had 4 more off of All We Know Is Falling, as this one is one of the 4. This is Franklin, coming in at 29. I mean, hey, it's about the place where Hayley Williams moved when she was younger after her parents divorced, Franklin, Tennessee. And yeah, it's cool. It's an underrated one off of All We Know Is Falling.
We were born for everybody sing like it's the last song you will ever sing. Tell me, can you feel the
28 is Born for this, the finisher to Riot. I mean, come on. This one was like your ultimate. Like, this was one of the songs they played live before the album came out to go along with Misery Business and I think Crush Crush Crush, but this was like one of the non-singles they played before the album even came out live, and it was a big like live setting. It like really put off a big live setting. It's fantastic and underrated. It really leaves you with wanting more at the end.
You're so strong, come and knock me down. Hey, baby, if I'm not the man I say I am, if I'm a woman with no fear, just like a claim I am, then I'll believe.
27 is Proof. Kind of like Still Into You Part 2, I guess you can kind of say, because it's basically the same thing. You know, she's basically telling her at the time boyfriend, Chad Gilbert, that I don't need to prove to you that I love you when we have each other, and that's all that matters. Now it's just kind of, I guess, a thing for the fans, but other people can relate to this song as well. I don't know. I love the beginning guitar, great vocal performance. I think that's why I like this song so much in high regards. It's highly underrated.
And we got everybody singing. Whoa, 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 whoa. And we got everybody singing.
26, we have Whoa off of All We Know Is Falling. It's just a pop punk anthem from the mid 2000s. It's cool. It just makes you sing along and go whoa, whoa, whoa along with them. So even though there's that whole thing about, you know, the na-na-nas, la-di-das, and woes, you know, not really being song lyrics, I don't have a problem with them as long as they can fit the atmosphere and the rhythm of the song, and they definitely do that here with this one.
'Cause all we know is falling, it falls. And we
Number 25 is the leadoff and the technical title track to the album All We Know Is Falling, and that is All We Know, which is about Jeremy Davis, the bassist, leaving the band for the first time. It packs a punch. It's one of their more heavier sounding songs. It has everything in the making of a good pop punk song. Great hook, great rhythm, everything.
I know you don't believe me, but the way I see it, next time you point a finger, I might have to bend it back or break it.
Let's go back to Brand New Eyes with Playing God at 24. I know this is one of their more kind of poppier songs, but hey, I mean, once again, who doesn't like a good catchy song that gets stuck in your head every now and then? I mean, hey, this one does it for me. It's about, you know, someone being a hypocrite and saying, you know, oh, well, you don't do this right, or you don't do this, when they're also doing that. Kind of like LeBron James is right now, calling out his Laker teammates for not handling distractions when he is the distraction. So yeah, kind of like that in regards. It definitely proves its point, and we've all had people like that in our lives. Trust me, we have all had people like that in our lives at some point.
Don't try to take this from me. Don't try to take this from me now. Don't try to take this from me. Don't try to take this from me now.
23 is Now. This was the first single we had heard for the self-titled. Once again, I think the chorus is just a little like, if there's a future we want it now, but I mean, the drums are great, the guitar is great, it's got a very, very cinematic music video, probably one of my favorite music videos of theirs. It stands the test of time. It just looks like a war movie at its best with a little twist in it. It's awesome. "22", the best song off of All We Know Is Falling, in my opinion, and that is the finish-off song, My Heart. The only time they attempt screamo with Josh Farro at the end, and Hayley Williams' vocals just go far and beyond for, at the time, a 15, 16-year-old. I mean, she's just amazing what she's able to do with her vocal range, and this is one of the songs that just does it. And once again, when the song's over, it leaves you with more, wanting more. And yeah, it's awesome. It's great. It's a great song on an underrated album that should have got more recognition.
You wouldn't. I never wanted to say this. You never wanted to stay.
21 is Riot's kickoff. For a pessimist, I'm pretty optimistic. I mean, this is the track that just gets you going, basically, she's saying, I might be a pessimist, but I'm pretty optimistic about our future. I have high hopes for it, and we hope that we could be the next big thing as, Misery Business took off. So I guess this song in a way came true, and that's how we should all feel. Even if, you feel like a pessimist, you should always be optimistic about your future and what the future lies, because thinking about the better things always leads to better things. So where it's being focused on the negative, you'll usually be, in the negative, which is something you don't want.
I said, let's see you walking, and it's obvious that you're dying. Just living proof that the camera's lying.
Getting into the top 20, staying with Riot, is Fences. The more kind of, it says that Loudwires said that the chorus had more of a reggae feel, but I think it's some creative instruments there with the bass guitar, the guitar, and the drums. It's just another sing-songy kind of tune that it talks about the paparazzi and how you have to be careful when you're this big celebrity, because the paparazzi is everywhere and they won't leave you alone, and they're legally allowed to do what they do, which is ridiculous, because I think it's invasion of privacy. I wouldn't want a paparazzi around me all the time, but just to be that young and sing about something like that really tells you how fast they were able to grow up and mature. Number 19 is Let the Flames Begin, also off of Riot. High Intensity. There you go. That's why this one's in the top 20, and its predecessor, which you'll be seeing soon, definitely has the same intensity for it as well.
Baby, how we over now? Maybe I can change your mind. As soon as you walk out my door, I'm gonna
18 is One of Those Crazy Girls. Basically, Hayley Williams goes on a tangent about the girls that, call a man 100 times, even if they're not really doing anything or they just don't answer right away. She said, I can be the girl that'll just mind my own business, let you go out and do whatever you want, not worry. Or I can be the girl that calls 1,000 times, bugs you over every little thing, thinking that, oh, you're doing this, and you're sneaking behind my back and doing this. So basically it's a jab at those types of girls who are in relationships like that. And guys, if you have a woman that's like that, get out of it quickly, because it's not going to last long anyway. But yeah, it's a decent song.
Don't let me let you down. Hey baby, I'm not your superhuman. And if that's what you want, I hate to let you down.
17 is Ideal Worship off of After Laughter. You can definitely hear the pain in Hayley Williams' voice. It sounds like at some point she's like trying to hold back tears. It's just, it's another one of those emotional, haunting tracks that you can just feel from the beginning. Once again, I love this thing, and I think the chorus on that one is probably one of her strongest off of that entire album. It's one that I thought definitely should have been a single from the album.
We're driving fast in my car. We got our body get on, but we just want to have fun. No, we're not looking for violence. No.
16, I wanted to rank this one higher, but I couldn't because of the songs that are ahead of it. But we have Fast in My Car, the self-titled kickoff. If there's any way to tell your fans that you're changing and that you're basically this new band, it's this song. As they reference Riot in the song, saying we've got our Riot gear on, but we just want to have fun, saying we'll remember those days where Riot hit big and all that stuff, but we want to have fun. We want to delve into different sounds. We want to become this new band. We want to make it like you've never even heard of who we were before. It was the new and improved, and to this day, every time I'm in my car and listening to it, I feel great, because it's a great car tune, if you get what I'm saying. Not cartoon, it's a great car tune to drive to. It's great.
This time you don't leave me sinking. No air in my lungs. My eyes are open, and I'm giving up. You are
15 is Pool off of After Laughter. It's a crime that this thing isn't going to be a single. I felt like they could have got very creative with this music video. I love the chimes, I guess you can say, at the beginning, from just the instrumental work to the vocals. Everything about this song just screams perfect. It was another one, when I first heard After Laughter, it was one of the few non-singles that I liked and go back to often to listen to. It's just that great of a song.
never meant to break, but I got it where I want it now. Whoa, it was never my intention to break. Just steal it all away from you now.
That's right. It didn't even crank my top 5. I'm sorry. Misery Business is here at number 14. Like I said, I have it ranked high because it's a good song, but, you know, I knew at that point that they had done better. Like, if I had just known them for that song and on, you know, a little bit here and there, I'd say this is their best song. But when I had heard the self-titled and then went back and listened to this and their other albums, I realized that Misery Business is not the best they've done. It's good. And the fact that they don't even want to acknowledge the song anymore. They've retired the song because they feel like it doesn't follow how they feel now with people can never change, and once a whore, you're nothing more, as it mentions in the song. So, hey, sometimes there's just those songs by bands that they just don't want to talk about, and this is one of them.
I'll stop the whole world. I'll stop the whole world from turning into a monster. Eating ass alive. Don't you ever want
13, a non-album single, basically for the Transformers Dark of the Moon soundtrack. It also ended up on the Singles Club EP, and that is Monster. The more grungier type act for Paramore. This was their first song as a trio. It was basically a farewell to Josh and Zach Farrow, and also following these kind of Transformer themes. Another great music video of just explosions and running away. It was pretty awesome, like, comeback. Like, when people thought they were dead, they were going to break up, they're like, no, here we are, things are going to change, but we're still around, we're still kicking, and we can still make a kick-ass song.
Hard times, gonna make you wonder why you even try. Hard times, gonna take you down and laugh when you cry. And I still don't know how.
Number 12 is Hard Times. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. After Laughter was, really good when it came to, great catchy songs. This is one of them. As a leadoff, I can definitely appreciate it. It really showed you that once again the band is changing, they're different, and they're more depressing than ever. As lyric, may not sound like it instrument-wise, but lyric-wise, holy shit, they went from happy to sad in one album cycle. But yeah, no, it's a great listen, one of my favorites of 2017.
I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm into you, and baby, even on the worst nights.
11, let's hit it with the bubblegum pop, Still Into You. Sure, it's just happy. The music video looked fun, and even though it was written for, like I said, Eder at the time, boyfriend, husband, now ex-husband, it's more for the fans now, saying, we change, we've gone through things, I feel like I know you guys, but no matter what happens, I'll always be into you. So it's kind of that happy, just peppy, feel-good bubblegum pop song that we all know and love.
Come and find me dancing all alone to the sound of an enemy song. I'll be lost until.
Number 10, staying on the self-titled, it's Part 2. I mentioned it as its predecessor, its first song, Let the Flames Begin, had high intensity. This one definitely has high intensity. I think I like it. Obviously I like it better than Let the Flames Begin if I have it ranked higher. But if you definitely listen to those songs back to back, you can hear the similarities. But you can also hear the change in sound. But it has a darker atmosphere than Let the Flames Begin, and I think that's why I like it. Dark songs tend to be like my thing that I like. So, good on them for this one. At number 9, the second and last song that didn't make an album, unless you count the Brand New Eyes Deluxe Edition, but this was mainly made for the Twilight soundtrack, and that is Decode. The dark music video, obviously, it was made for Twilight, but once again, it's one that looks like Tim Burton directed it for him, which there'll be another one like that coming soon. It's great vocal performance. I think that other than That's What You Get, this is the one song that definitely kept the band together for at least one more album cycle. It's amazing. One of their best.
And the worst part is, before it gets any better, we're headed for a cliff, and in the free fall.
Number 8 is Turn It Off. This is one that I think should have been a single off of Brand New Eyes. Once again, it has that kind of country twang at the beginning, but, when it picks up, man, and you can hear, once again, the pain in Hayley Williams' voice. It's just got that intensity and that feeling that just makes you go, whoa, like, I feel like I felt what she felt, and it's kind of hitting me, so Turn It Off has always had that going for me. It's just intense.
'Cause I'm just one of those ghosts traveling endlessly. Don't need.
Number 7, this is my favorite acoustic performance of theirs, and that is Misguided Ghosts. I'm sorry to all the other songs. Acoustic songs. Oh, good lord. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry. I'm tired still, but I got class today. But yeah, Misguided Ghosts is just, basically Haley singing, when I'm down in the dumps, who am I going to be able to go to, just call myself? Am I going to be able to trust that person? Is this someone who I can trust? Or is this just someone who says they're a friend when really they're just here? They're friends with me because I'm the famous one. So yeah, it's underrated.
And that's where I want to be. Yeah, go get your shovel, and we'll take a deep hole to bury the castle.
Number 6, Brick by Boring Brick, the second single off of Brand New Eyes. I mean, it's about being trapped in this just, I guess, kind of like daydreaming is, where she's just kind of like dreaming this stuff up in her head and, kind of making her own world for it. And she's saying, bury that and go out in the real life, be interactive. Don't let this fake world control who you are. It definitely, like I mentioned with Decode, has that Tim Burton-y type feel in the music video. And vocal performance wise, holy shit, Hayley Williams does it again. Number 5, the final song off of the self-titled, and that's Ain't It Fun. I mean, it's self-explanatory. It wants you to have fun. It's saying, get past the bad things and just be yourself. Don't let anything get you down. Explore. If you move somewhere, explore. If your parents divorced, just all this stuff like that. It's just telling you, take the bad stuff and just push it away and do things that make you happy, so that way you can forget about it and not be down in the dumps all the time. Now that attitude for them has changed, like I had said over the years, but it's a great song. They got a Grammy for it, so I can't hate on it.
Rose-colored boy, I hear you making all that noise about the world you want to see. I'm so annoyed, 'cause I just killed them.
Number 4, the best song off of After Laughter, in my opinion, is Rose-Colored Boy. Before it was made a single, I was like, this thing is going to be made a single eventually. I don't know when, but it definitely has that power for fans to go, I like this thing. And it was made a single, very creative. It's basically about, why should I fake being happy around you when really I'm not happy, and I, don't want to show that I'm not, because then I don't want to let you down. But that's basically the whole main theme of the album. But you gotta watch the music video to understand too. I think it'll help you understand a lot more if you watch the music video. But yeah, it's very creative and very 80s throwback like.
Nothing compares to a quiet evening alone. Just the one, two. I was just counting on that never happened. I guess I'm dreaming again.
Number 3, my favorite Riot song, Crush, Crush, Crush. I mean, come on, how could you not like that little fade in to the drums, and just, you can't help but sing along to the Crush, Crush, Crush part and the 1, 2, 3 part. It's just, it's better than Misery Business. It's better than anything off of that album. It's just one, for some reason, I just love it so much. It's another kind of, I guess, boyfriend stealing song in a way, talking about, ignore the other girls that are telling you this and that. I'm here. All I want to do is spend time with you. I don't want to, gossip or anything like that. But it has all the staying power in the world.
All I wanted was you. All I wanted was you.
Number 2, we're down to the nitty gritty. All I Wanted. This thing should have been a single from the start, but it wasn't. The most haunting vocals by Hayley Williams I think I've ever endured throughout a whole entire song of theirs. I mean, it starts here and then it goes up here at the end. She was always afraid to sing it live because she was scared she'd throw out her throat. I think they did sing it live a couple of times, but not often. It's just one that I feel like in a live setting would get the crowd pumped. It just has so much power to it. so much power where you can feel the pain of the artist. It's just, it's amazing. But it's not the best song off of Brand New Eyes. That's right. Ignorance is my number one. I think they had Ignorance at like 40 something. Ignorance has been my most played Paramore song ever, I think. It's just from that opening to the vocals, and basically, like I said, like I had said with oh God, what song was it? Playing God. We've all had that one person in life, that's kind of just telling you what to do, and basically just being ignorant, saying, oh, I'm your friend, I'm here for you, and then when the time comes to do something, they don't care, they say handle it yourself, and they just kind of wave you off as not being important. We've all had those people in our lives as well, but it just packs a punch, it does its job, it's fantastic. So yeah, that does it as I rank all 61 of Paramore's studio album songs off of albums from 2 that were on movies. So I rank all 63 Paramore songs that were recorded and put on some sort of album, from worst to best in reaction to Loudwires rankings. Like I said, I didn't do all 84 like they did. I kept 21 off the list, man, because I didn't hear them. Mostly because I didn't hear them. So I probably will do a list of those, do the ranking the Paramore B-sides from 21 to 1, all this stuff, but I'll have to find time and listen to those. Anyway, tell me in the comments below, what is your favorite Paramore song? What is your least favorite? If you want to do what I did, go from 63 to 1. It's hard because you have to keep track of what songs you listed and stuff like that and make sure that all the songs from the albums are on there, but if you want to take that time and do it, be my guest. But hey, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, share, and I'll catch you guys next time.